Even though you probably watched every single tutorial there is on YouTube, how to make money from YouTube Shorts, you know when to post, which videos to post, which watch time to get, and which swipe rate to get, you probably haven't earned a single penny. And the main problem most creators like you have isn't the knowledge. Like, everyone these days can get the knowledge. Have you even seen the views these videos get? Some of them have over 100,000 views, so there might be 100,000 people with the same knowledge as you have. And I bet you there's not 100,000 people that are making this crazy money. So what's the difference between you and the creators that are making insane revenue of YouTube? Well, it's simple. It's when to make the decision. The biggest problem with most beginning creators is that they basically know most of the things, they know how to make stuff, they know what to do, but they don't know when to act. And that's when they make the biggest mistakes of their creator career. And for example, I had one of my students in one niche that was basically still up and down, and for him it looked like he wasn't making any progress. But what I saw was channel that was getting more consistency with the views that he was getting, and the stats were still going up, and he was just about to break out of the view jail that he was in. On the calls with me, he was basically telling me how desperate he is, and he was really considering giving up on the channel and going for the next shiny object. But after getting feedback from me, he stuck with the same niche, and after just 2 weeks his channel blew up. And here comes the problem. You might think after hearing this story, you just need to stick with your channel for longer. But that's not the case. I also had some creators in my community that were basically in the wrong niche at the wrong time. They were basically in the niche that was already dead or already dying, and they were trying to blow up in this dead niche. And after one call with me, they switched the channel, and in the new niche, they started getting much bigger views than they were getting in the old one. The point is that no other YouTube creator or even me can give you real feedback if we haven't seen your real channel. And I was in the same shoes as you are right now, because I started on YouTube in 2013, which is 13 years already, and I spent basically my first 5 years only learning and experimenting by myself. And that was the biggest mistake that I've ever made. Because all that progress that I've made in these 5 years, my students can make in a single month, because they have the navigator that gives them the decisions that they need to hear. Because every time when you start making videos on YouTube, you basically lock yourself in this bubble of your channel. You may run even 2 or 3 channels, but you're still focused on really tiny part of YouTube, and that's where comes the problem, because you just see this really small sub-niche of YouTube and you act on what you've seen in this tiny sub-niche. Then you get stuck in the same bubble, you can't scale your earnings, you can't scale your views, because everything you know is the thing that you are doing. Of course, you may watch like 5 or 10 other channels, but the odds are most of them are in the same or in really similar niche, and you never get out of the bubble you got yourself in. And now I can see it much clearer than ever before, because I work with so many creators from every single corner of YouTube, from every single niche, and I know which niches are starting to die off and which niches are actually starting to grow. And this isn't only about niche. It's also about knowing when to push further, it's about knowing when to pivot, and you can imagine it as a sailor. You are the sailor, you have your own boat, which is your channel, and you want to get it to monetization. You essentially know how to sail your boat, you know every single thing about your boat, you know how to operate it, how to use it, but you don't know how to get from point A to point B. For this, you basically want someone who is experienced in the space, who already helped other sailors to get over the sea, who can navigate you from point A to point B. But make your research, because there are some people who will give you some tips and lead you to the dead end. With this same navigator strategy, I've helped multiple of my students get their first earnings of YouTube, and some of them scale even up to 5k to 10k per month. So if you are still lost in the sea of YouTube Shorts, you can ask any question in the comments, and if you would like to work directly with me, I can essentially be your navigator and get you to your goals. You can apply in the first link in the description, and we can schedule the first call together. Have a great one, and I will see you next time.